Okay. And why do we need to observe the world, the universe? Because it helps us to decipher his actions, and this enables man to know his creator. This had been said by Maharal, by Rambam, Maimonides, and so on, that to work in science, to work especially in mathematics and so on, this helps us to proceed further and further and to get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We cannot touch him, but we can get always closer and closer and closer, and observation of his creation can do it. And I told you that an astronomer, an astrophysicist in Paris, in Meudon, has something very interesting. This is the map that the probe W map produced. But what Luminet added here are these circles. What is he looking for? He said the world has to be finite. There are theories telling that the world is infinite, but for Luminet it's impossible. The world has to be finite, and he has some good reason for that. But if the world is finite, he must be bordered by something. So let's say that I'm standing on the borderline of the world, of the universe. Here is the universe, and I'm on the edge. Okay? Where is my hand now? This is a paradox. And because of this paradox, we have a proof that the world cannot have an edge. So we need to have a topological structure of a world which is finite in the sense of physicists, not in the sense of mathematicians, which is finite but without an edge, without a border. And Luminet has a lot of hypotheses on that. He made simulations, and what he is looking for with this circle, I will explain you like that. He said, actually, the world, the universe, is made of one form which is reproduced like a hall of mirrors. And actually, light, when it exists, when it exits from one face, enters back immediately from the face exactly opposite, with a phase change of 36 degrees. He tried with different forms, different shapes, make simulations, and with the dodecahedron, he obtained a simulation giving a result close to the map of W map. So probably he is right, but it's not enough. It's not a finite proof. And in order to understand the shape of space, he is trying to look at something else. And what he's looking at is what I showed you here. If you describe that as a landscape, and you are trying to go around circles, you see something on your left and something on your right. Luminet is looking for what he called homologue circles. These are circles that if you are going on them, what you will see at every time on your left and on your right is the same thing, here and there. As soon as he finds two homologue circles, he will prove that actually what you see in the sky at that places, at these places, and what you see at these places are the same objects. It is to say that you can see the same galaxy a lot of times. You see a galaxy here and here and here. It can be the same galaxy, but you see it after the light took different paths in order to arrive, and then it took different times to arrive. So maybe that these galaxies that you call with such name or code or something, and the other one are two pictures, two images of the same one, but this one, it was 1 million years ago, and this one was 2 million years ago. Meanwhile, without this kind of computation, it's very, very hard computations, meanwhile, he didn't find But he's looking for that because he wants to prove that the universe is finite. It is closed, it is finite, and maybe that what we see in the sky is billions times actually the same objects which are in this basic shape. You know what? He is looking for a proof, for a scientific proof of something that the Maharal said already. The Maharal in Tiferet Israel says that the world, the universe, has to be finite. Why? In Hebrew, finite is Sofi. Something infinite is Ein Sofi. And the Chachmei Kabbalah calls God Ha-Ein Sof Baruch Hu. Only God is infinite. The world has been created. Created Nivra. The root is Bet Resh, Bar. Bar means out of, outside. The son of a man is, in Aramaic, Bar. Bar, mitzvah. He is outside. Chayot Bar. The animals which are not domesticated are Chayot Bar. These are the animals who live outside. The world, the universe, is outside. It is not HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And if the world would be infinite, in the universe where infinite, it was God. It was HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But it has been created. So it is not HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Therefore, the universe has to be finite. The Maharal has what we will call a religious proof of that. Luminé is looking for a scientific proof of that. Luminé is not a Jew. I suppose that he never heard of the Maharal and never read anything about him. But it seems that this man, I don't know him personally, and a friend of mine, an astrophysicist working at JCT now, and whose name has been given to an asteroid, he knows him. I didn't ask him, but it seems to me that Luminé is a religious Catholic. And the thought that the world is finite because it cannot be HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he hadn't. But from inside he had the feeling that that's what we have to look for. Exactly the same way that the physicists today are looking for a theory, a unique theory to describe all the universe, from quantum theory to gravitation. Meanwhile, they didn't find. But the idea to look for the ultimate law of the universe, to have one single theorem, one single interaction in the world, could come only from people who believe in one God. Monotheism is a must for that. This could not appear in Japan or in Thailand because they cannot understand, they cannot imagine something unique. And so you see that once again, I saw people writing that science and religion, they are not Jews. I don't speak about religion. I speak about Torah. We are not religious people. We are Anshe Torah. It's something else. But they don't go on parallel pathways. It is exactly the same pathway, at different level. We have the Rabbi Yosef Gicatilia, one of the big sages of the Kabbalah in Spain, said that between us and God there is a continuum. And somebody who makes a cut in this continuum, this is the idolatry. But there is a continuum. And what we are doing at different levels in science, in Torah learning, and so on, is somewhere in this continuum. All our mathematics and biology and physics and chemistry and so on, and architecture and all what Mada at large is somewhere. And you know, we are reciting a blessing when we see a big scientist. No matter whether he is a Jew or not, the blessing is slightly different, but we are reciting a blessing like that. And therefore, these observations are very important. And we can have a look at what the Chachamim at various periods, various epochs, wrote, and they value this very, very specifically, the observation of the sky. David Gans was a Talmid, a student, was the Talmid of the Ramah, Rabbi Moshe Isserlis in Krakow. And when Rabbi Moshe Isserlis died, he went to Prague and he was the Talmid of the Maharal. But he was also the assistant of Tycho Brahe, the astronomer of Rodolphe, King Rodolphe. And he wrote 2 books. One of them is Nechmad V'Naim, it's a book of astronomy. And it's clear to everybody that the Maharal was busy also with astronomy. He had a meeting with the King Rodolphe. We have no protocol, no minutes of this meeting, but probably they spoke about science. And not only them, but also Rabbi Elimelech Midinov, the Bnei Issachar. And what he writes is, Ashrei mi shezacha b'yalduto, happy the man who had the possibility when he was a young man, when he was a child, to learn all this science, to learn all this astronomy. If he could not do it when he was a child, now he is an adult, he has no time to do that, because he has other duties. But anyway, he should take part of this time in order to relate to that. And once again, to do that, he says, Le mitzvah yechashev. It will be counted for him as a mitzvah. It is considering the creation by God as something important, and the way we are approaching God is through His deeds. We cannot touch Him. Shuva Yisrael ad Hashem Elokecha. We have to approach God, and we can do it in an infinite pathway. We never finished, because He is infinite. But we can do it. And if we can do it, we have a mitzvah of doing it. We can see that at a lot of opportunities to observe the world. I gave you some tidbits on observations of the sky. Somebody else, or even me, we could do it with other observations. This is Marabu Ma'asecha Hashem. Your days are tremendous, big, large, but we have also Makatnu Ma'asecha Hashem. You can have a look inside one of your hair. You can have a look at that, and you will see a whole world there. With your microscope, what you see, it's fascinating. So observe the world. This is a world that God created, and this world is fascinating, and not only fascinating, but helping you to go ahead in order to approach God.